Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jade and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about the importance of doing body weight. So we are going a little bit back to basics. So this video has come about because I had a close friend talk to me about where should they start and where should they, start their health and fitness journey. I am not yet a personal trainer. I can only speak about my experience and things that I have learned along the way. But one thing that was made evident was that my friend was only doing sort of cardio-based exercises and didn't really know where to start when it came to starting to build muscle and starting to, tone up. So that led on to the conversation of some of the things that I have noticed. So I talked about fundamental of movements, and these can include things like squats, lunges. So we were just having that general conversation, and it sort of led me onto this where I started to reflect about, well, what are some of the fundamental movements that I've noticed in my health and fitness journey? So that is the inspo for today's video. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. So this is just my opinion and my experience so far. But let's talk about it. So going back to basics, I guess what that means is, when you start working out and you've got all of that momentum, motivation, and everything like that. I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to be in the gym, throwing the barbells around. I wanted to do it all. I wanted to do the fun and exciting movements. And this is so cliche and so boring, but it is very true that I really needed to master some basics first. And I guess as an analogy, you can't just jump straight into running into a marathon. Usually there would be some level of training or some level of starting somewhere, starting fresh. So as the saying goes, I know it's very cliche, but you need to learn how to walk before you can run. And in my case, that was especially true. When I look back and, I wanted to get straight into everything and I wanted to do all the exciting movements and all the stuff I wanted to see on TikToks, Instagram Reels, all of that stuff. I wanted to do it ASAP, but for myself and my body, I knew that I couldn't really do some basic fundamental movements. And that's also why I'm sharing this video today, is because we all start somewhere. And also sometimes you really do need to master the basics before you can handle anything more advanced, especially if you are a beginner. And there is nothing wrong with being a beginner. Everyone was a beginner at one stage. And I think that is more than okay. Everybody starts as a beginner. I know I did. So like I was saying, I'm going to be sharing some basic movements that I have noticed throughout my health and fitness journey where you start out with these exercises, but then you realize you can add weights onto them, or you start noticing them in different movements. For example, let's talk about the squat. So when we're talking about the squat, look at all the different variations we have of the squat. We have a standard squat, then we have a goblet squat, we have a sumo squat, etc., etc., etc. And it kind of just continues to go from there. So as we know, there's so many different variations of the squat, but then you can also advance them. You can add booty bands, you can add dumbbells, kettlebells, even barbells also. But not only that, but you can use weighted machines to also help you perform weighted squats. So with all that in mind, what I'm talking about is getting back to fundamentals. So let's do a squat. And then you can always build from there once you get the technique down. But then also once you get the confidence too, it is very important to feel confident in these basic movements before you advance and you add extra things onto them. So the videos I'm going to be sharing with you so far today is I'm going to be covering an upper body workout, a lower body, and then also a core as well. Now, I think it's very important just to mention that I have not filmed or done any sort of warming up or cooling down, because that's something that I personally like to switch it up every single time. So sometimes I'll use a dancing workout to warm up, or maybe when it comes to cooling down, I might do my own stretches, or I might put something on YouTube and just follow their cool down. So it's very individualized, but I'm talking about my experience and things that I like to do and what I prefer really. But I do want to say it is really important that you warm up and that you cool down. So please make sure that you're doing that. All right, so let's get on to the videos. We are going to be targeting the upper body portion. So this will target your chest, back, abs, bicep, triceps, and even shoulders as well. I'm holding the resistance band in front of me with my arms extended at shoulder level. My feet are hip width apart and I'm holding the resistance band. Now I'm going to pull my arms to my sides in line with my shoulders, and then I'm going to reverse the movement and return back to my starting position. And remember to squeeze, squeeze. Typically, when it comes to building muscle or toning up, I wanted to sort of target the 8 to 10 rep range. And what I'm doing is each of these little workouts that I'm going to be showing today, I do 3 sets of them. Now, usually that means a rest of 1 minute or 2 minutes between the sets, and then we just keep on rolling through. Moving right along onto the push-up. So we are getting into the push-up position. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Engage that core. Make sure your back is straight. You can do these either on your knees or on your feet. I like to do them on my knees. We're going to lower our body, and then we're going to push ourselves back up to return to our starting position. And then we just keep on doing them. Push-ups are always difficult for me, so I'm going to continue to work on these. Tricep dips are next, so I stand facing away from my couch because it's a sort of a great leveled furniture. Now I'm going to send my arms backward to grab at shoulder width apart, and I'm keeping my feet together. I'm bending my knees in front of myself and I'm tilting my feet upwards. Now I'm going to slowly lower my body until I create a 90-degree angle with my arms and my forearms. Engage your triceps and then you push right back up. Okay, onto planks. I feel like everybody hates this movement, and I did too, but I'm actually starting to enjoy them now. Now, similar to a push-up, I'm starting with my hands underneath my shoulders, and then I'm keeping my core engaged to create a straight line from my shoulders all the way down to my toes. Now, keep your head in alignment. Now, hold this position. And then after, I think it's around about 30 seconds each time I do it, and then I release and I get back down. Mountain climbers are next, so similar to the plank position, but instead this time you are going to be pulling your right knee and your left knee up towards your chest and then just repeating that motion. This actually really helps with getting my heart rate up, and then I have a little rest and then it's on to the next round. Upper body is done. Lower body is next. We're targeting glutes, quads, calves, abductors, and hamstrings. So we are starting with the squat. Feet are hip width apart. Engage your core. Send your hips backwards to lower into your squat position. Keep your knees tracking outward to avoid your injury. When driving back up, engage your glutes to return to your standing position. My next favorite movement is a reverse lunge. This really helps by building that booty, girls. So lunge by stepping backwards. Engage your core. Be mindful of your knee placement. When lunging, you want to make sure your knee is in line with your ankle as much as possible to avoid any injuries. When returning to your standing position, try not to push off of your back leg. Engage your front leg to stand, and trust me, you will feel the burn. Now, squats and lunges are super fundamental if you're looking to build any sort of glute muscles. Next up, we have glute bridges, so grab your mat and then we're going to lie on our back with our arms and our hands at our side. Your knees are bent hip width apart and your feet are flat on the floor. Engage your core, squeeze your glutes and push your hips upwards. You're aiming to create a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Now, be very mindful of not overextending your hips. This can cause some injuries, especially to your lower back. Sumo squats, so stand with your knees slightly wider than shoulder width apart, similar to a standard squat, chest tall as you bend your knees, sinking your hips down until your thighs are parallel with the floor. Engage your thighs and your glutes and drive back up to your standing position. Now be mindful of your knees, don't let them creep in. And of course, we can't forget the calf, so I'm going to be doing some calf raises. So I stand in my neutral position and I'm raising my heels and engaging my calf muscles. Now, if I ever need to and I feel off balance, all I do is I grab a wall or some sort of furniture to help with my stability. Lower body is done. Next up is my core workout, and I need to absolutely smash this one. My first movement is similar to a sit-up, but I'm using my entire body to perform this. So laying on my mat, my feet and knees are shoulder width apart, and what I'm doing is I'm using my full core by rolling all the way up towards my toes. One thing that I'm mindful of is not creating any strain in my neck when I'm curling up and making sure to engage my core. Now we have dead bugs. So laying on your mat, I'm lying on my back and I'm bringing my arms up until my wrists are directly over my shoulders. Bring your legs up until they form a tabletop. Now I'm going to squeeze my belly button in towards my spine just to make sure my core is nice and engaged. Now we're going to be alternating our legs, so dropping the left arm and right leg, and then we're drawing them back up towards the ceiling to reset. Toe touches the neck, so I'm crunching up and I'm aiming to try and touch my toes, and I'm lowering down and repeating the movement again. Russian twists are next. So I've got a dumbbell and I'm sitting on my mat. Now I'm holding my hands out in front of my chest and I'm leaning my torso back until you feel your abdominal muscles engaging. Now slowly I'm going to twist from right to left. Lastly, I'm going to be performing a side plank. So usually I hold planks for around about 30 seconds. So you'll see here, my forearm is underneath my shoulders, my legs are in line with my body, and I'm going to push and reach. Now I've got my knee bent just for some stability. On this day, I really felt like I needed it. Or alternatively, you can use both feet and stack them kind of one behind the other and perform. Now we're going to swap over to the other side and do the exact same movement. Planks are really fantastic movements in any form because they engage multiple muscles all at once. Now that's it, guys. That's my core workout and we are done. Woohoo! Yay, yay, yay! Alright guys, I hope those videos were helpful. I honestly really like those movements. I think those are a really great foundation just to focus on. But everyone is different, everyone's body is different, so make sure that you're doing what you're comfortable and what you can perform safely. You don't want to cause any injuries or anything like that. So make sure you're being as safe as possible. But I hope these videos have helped. These are some of, like I said, the movements that I really like to do when it comes to upper body, lower body, and core. I think they're really great and they're functional, and also they're great fundamentals. Or sometimes if I want to do the advanced movement, I just switch one or two of these movements out and add the weighted option. But if you've seen any of these moves that you really do like, then of course incorporate them if you would like to, but just make sure you do it safely. Now, we need to talk about something else, is that I am going to be going to Europe very, very shortly. And so I won't be doing these videos as much as I would really like to be doing. So they're going to slow down a little bit, but I'm definitely going to try and do one or two more videos before I go. So I'm going to be going for roughly around about 1 month and I cannot wait. I'm so excited for my holiday, but I might post some little shorts or little reels or things like that. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to try and keep in touch. So don't be a stranger. Once again, I cannot thank you all enough so much for your constant support, your comments, your likes, your messages that you've been sending me. I appreciate it so, so much. And thank you for believing in me. Thank you so, so, so much. And I think I've said this to you guys, but I really don't think that I would be able to do this without you. I'm so glad that we've started on this journey and I'm so excited about the future. Wherever you are, make sure that you're being patient and kind to yourself as much as possible during this journey. And just like that, it is a journey. You are not expected to be perfect overnight. So just be as patient as you can and don't worry, you're gonna get there. You can totally do this. I believe in you. And once again, guys, I will catch you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.